There, everyone, and welcome back here to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. I'm so glad you tuned in today. We're going to do a fun fold card, and it's sort of like a gatefold pop-up, and it looks something like this. See how pretty that card is? Now, this is just my prototype I was playing with. When you fold it, to put it in an envelope, it folds like a regular gatefold card. You can decorate the front, do whatever you want to do, put a message back here. But when the recipient opens it, it pops up like this, and it will sit up on the desk like that. I know it looks complicated, but I promise you it's not. I'm gonna show you today how to make this and just how simple it is. Now, y'all know me well enough to know that I love to give you a good diagram. So this will be in the PDF tutorial so you can see exactly where you need to score and where you need to cut. But I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process. I am using a piece of the new color called Petunia Pop. This is one of our new in colors, and it pairs so well with the paper that is called Unbound Beauty. And this is such a beautiful pack of paper. And I chose the one with the Summer Splash and the Petunia Pop on it because I thought that was just really pretty. And I haven't used this one yet. So let's go ahead and get our pieces cut, get our scoring and our cut lines and everything done, and then we'll be ready to put this card together. So let's grab our trimmer, and for our card base, it's just going to be a regular 8.5 by 5.5 card base like we do all the time. So we're going to put it on an 11-inch side, line it up over to 5.5. Just slice that piece of cardstock right in half. And you can see 8.5 by 11 will give you two cards. So the next thing you want to do is put this in your trimmer, and you want to score it at 2 1/8. So bring it over to the 2 1/8. Make sure you get that cut blade out of your way because we're scoring, and that's your light colored blade. Or you can put this on your scoreboard and do it either way. But I'm going to score it at 2 1/8, and then I'm just going to turn it around. And the part that I scored now is over to my right, and I'm going to line it up at that 2 1/8 on this side and do the very same thing. Easy peasy, right? Now the cut lines that we need to cut are going to be cut between these two score lines. So again, so simple, so easy. Line it up over at 1 1/4. Get your score blade out of the way, bring up your cut blade, sink it right on that score line, just like that, and then slice down to that next score line, just like that. Leave your blade where it's at and lift your arm, turn this around and line it up at 1 1/4 and just do the same thing over again. Now, when you bring that blade down, it should be lined up pretty perfect on that score line. Then all you have to do is slice up to the next score line. That's it. That's all the cutting we have to do. Everything else now is going to be score lines. So we need to score this in half. So this is 5.5. 8.5. So we're going to score at 4 1/4, but to score it in half, we only need to score from the very top to the score line and from the very bottom, cut line, from the very top down to the cut line, from the bottom up to the cut line. Get the blade out of your way, and then take your score blade and just score down to that cut line. Raise up your arm, come down, line it up, and score down. Okay, easy so far, right? Nothing difficult, nothing too hard. Now, this is the only tricky one, and we need to score at 3 3/16. I know you hear 16ths, you get nervous. You don't have to be. All you're going to do, because this particular trimmer is already sectioned off into 16ths. So each one of those lines is 1/16. So count over, go to the 3 and then count 1, 2, 3. It's 1 before you get to the quarter. Bring your score blade down, line it up with that cut line, score up to the cut line, and then you're going to flip it and do the same thing on the other side. Line it up to 3, 1, 2, 3/16, and score. Guess what? Our card is done. That's simple, and the card base is done and ready to go. So all we're going to do is fold in, which is a mountain. Actually, this needs to be a valley. We're going to do a valley on both ends. So you have your valley. Then this one is going to be a mountain. These are going to be mountains, and this is going to be a mountain. Once you get that done, there is your card base. Now, how simple was that? There's our card. So you can see that came together really quick. It wasn't that complicated, and it was just 2 cut lines and a couple, 3 or 4 score lines. So it's really, really simple. And I will have the diagram on the PDF to make it real easy so you can tell where you score, where you cut, what's a mountain fold and what's a valley fold. So that'll make it really simple for you. So now let's bring over our piece of designer series paper, and we need to cut our strips for the sides of our card. So our pieces need to be 2 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut off one strip at 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut 2 at 5 1/4. So I need 1 and 2. I started to cut all this ahead of time and then just put the card together, but I thought it might be nice for you to see me cut each piece, just to kind of, give you the dimensions and you get to see exactly how this card came together. So this piece is going to go right here and this one here, but we need 4 pieces for here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for it, I am going to turn this piece of paper over and look at that. Is that not so cute? And it's going to look good on our petunia pop. So I'm going to cut a strip off this way. And I need this piece to be, see if I got my mats written down. I need it to be 1 1/8. So I'm going to line my paper up to 1 1/8. And to cut this off. And then we just need 2-inch pieces. So let's see if we can get all 4 of them out of this. There's 1. 2. 3. And 4. Okay, that was easy. So now we can go ahead and glue our pieces on to our card base. So I'm going to use liquid glue because I like the wiggle room that it gives me. So I am going to take this and lay it down, making sure I get my margins nice and even. Like that. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors together. Then we're going to do this one. Now, all these measurements and all the dimensions and the pieces you need will be on my blog. And it'll be a free PDF tutorial that you can click on and print out or save to your computer or both. Some people like to save it to the computer and then they can just pull it up when they need it. Some people like to print it out and have a little catalog. Totally up to you. So now we have our little pieces that are going to go here and here. And because I'm using these pieces that have a little white, I'm going to put our middle part in here white. I think it'd be really pretty. So I'm going to put glue on the back of these. And glue them down. And you can flatten your card out while you're putting your mats on, just to make it easier to get everything lined up. Glue that down. Do the same thing with this. And if you are interested in purchasing any of the products that you see me use, the cardstock, as you can see, everything coordinates perfectly. The cardstocks with the designer series paper. And designer series paper is Stampin' Up's terminology for pattern paper. So they call all of their pattern paper DSP, designer series paper. And I love the color coordination. The great thing about this is you have ink pads and you have designer series paper, you have cardstock, your markers, everything matches perfectly. And I love that. So now that we've got this together, let's think about what we want to do on the outside of this card. You can see it's a beautiful gatefold. So let's decide what we want to do on the outside. Now there's a little bit of pretty in pink on here. So let's see. See the pretty in pink. So I'm wondering if we put some strips of pretty in pink on it. That would be lovely. I have a piece. Scraps. I love my scraps. I never throw away scraps. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these at 2 inches by 5 1/4. So line it up at 2. Give it a slice. And 2 inches. Slice that one. And all I'm going to do is cut it to 5 1/4 to give me the length I need. And I'll do the same thing with this one. 5 1/4. Now I've got panels for the front, but you don't want them to be, so plain. So I have the stamp set called Sketched Butterflies. This stamp set is gorgeous. And I think these little butterflies, they all stamp together. I think they'd be so pretty. You know what? I already have them on a block. I think they would be so pretty just kind of running up this piece. So I'm going to stamp those and I'm going to stamp them in, I think I'm just going to do them in black and white or the pink and black. So I'm going to use my VersaFine because I usually get a much better image with it. And if I'm not using alcohol markers, this is usually my ink of choice. So I'm going to stamp here. Aren't those beautiful? And maybe here. Oh yeah, I'm loving them. A little bit right here. And let's get one there. Looks like it's going off. That's okay. Let me wipe that ink off because I'll have it all over my card. And let's do that little one right there, right here. And maybe this little one here. Okay. Like this off again so I don't have ink all over it. And then we'll do the same thing to this side. So I'm just gonna willy-nilly and those are done. So much fun. And I'm not going to color those. I'm going to leave them as they are. So I think they're going to make a really good pop on the front of this. And we're just going to glue them down just like that, just so we have something on the front of our card to look pretty. So I'm going to take some glue. Now I did use VersaFine, and that's a pigment ink. So I do want to clean my, it's not a water-based ink, it's a pigment. So I do want to clean my stamps off pretty quickly. So as soon as I get this in place, I am going to clean that stamp. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that now. And all I do is I take my Stampin' Scrub. It already has some stamp cleaner on it. So I'm just going to reactivate it with a little squirt of water and clean that up just like that. You have a cleaning side and a drying side, and it looks so good. Nice clean stamp. All right, so I'm going to bring this back over and some glue. Okay, I need a piece of white. So I'm looking in my scrap bin because I always have scraps of white. And there's a piece right there that I had used for something else. I'm going to cut this down to 2 by 2 7/8. So let's do 2 by 2 7/8. Let's see if we can get one more out of here. 2 by 2 7/8. Now we have our panels to put here in the middle. You can put a message in there. We have our piece on the front. Now, normally with the gatefold, I would do something very decorative across the front. You could do a belly band. Maybe we'll do a belly band. But when they pull the belly band off, you're not going to need it because you're going to want to display this card. And let's go ahead and do our sentiment, wishing you a happy birthday. You know, we're always needing birthday cards. And I am going to stamp this kind of down to the bottom. Like that. And I'm going to do my butterflies again because I want those to look like they're just flitting across the way. Just like that. Now this is ready to go here in the middle. Somebody will get this card and think, oh, what a simple little card until they open it and see what it does. And what a surprise it will be. So we will put this right here. And who doesn't love butterflies, right? So there, and then on the back here, we have this piece that we can glue in and write your message on this before you glue it down. You could just sign your name, you could leave a quick little message, or you could stamp another sentiment, whatever you like. But there is our card, And there is our pop-up, and isn't it gorgeous? Love how this turned out. I think it's such an easy card, but yet it looks so elegant, and it looks like we spent hours on it, when in fact it just took us a few minutes. I love cards that are like that. So I hope that you enjoyed me making this card and showing you how. Don't forget about the free PDF tutorial with all the dimensions and even a diagram that will show you all of your cutting and scoring. It will be on my blog, and all you have to do is scroll down under this video and you'll see where it says my blog. Click on that, it will take you to this card, and I'm sure that you are going to love it as much as I do. God bless and keep you, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior. He is worthy. Until next time, God bless and keep you, and bye-bye.